second trumpet. Second trumpet. Revelation 8, 8 to 9. And here's what it says. You got your Bibles? I hope so. Okay. And the second angel sounded his trumpet, and as it were, a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea, and the third of the sea became blood. And there died the third of the creatures which were in the sea, which had life, and the third of the ships were destroyed. Now, it does not say it was a mountain. Okay, people? Let's put our thinking caps on here. But that it was like one. This shows us what is not to be taken literally, as well as what is. It was something which resembled a mountain. John does not say he saw a volcano, as some say. What John saw was a fiery mass like a mountain cast into the sea and turning it into blood. Now, this cannot be literal, say the interpreters. So again, why not? Look, in one of the plagues of Egypt, it is written that Moses lifted up his rod and smote the waters that were in the river, in the sight of Pharaoh and in the sight of his servants. And all the waters that were in the river were turned to blood. That's Exodus 8:20. Now in Psalm 105:29, why don't we go there? In Psalm 105:29, here's what it says. He turned their waters into blood. The humblest reader can understand this. It does not require a gigantic education in order to believe God. All it needs is a spiritual understanding and a spiritual mind. Now, we have laid out some of the other interpretations that are out there. Which are we to believe? One interpretation asks us to believe that the fiery mountain means Satan. The sea means the nations. The dying of the fish denotes the persecution and slaughter of Christians. The wreck of the ships denotes the extinction of congregations. Here's another one. Another system tells us that the mountain was Genseric, with his Vandals, forced by the Huns from their native seat. The sea was their plunging through France and Spain into Africa, settling themselves in the conquered territory. The destruction of fish, etc., was their plundering on the neighboring islands and shores of the Mediterranean. A third system tells us that the sea is the church with its baptismal waters. The mountain is some great heresy. The blood is the corruption by deadly error. The destruction of fish is the destruction of souls. The wreck of ships is the overturning of churches. A fourth one, even, is that the sea is the Sea of Galilee, meaning Palestine. The mountain is Vespasian. The fishes are the Jews. The ships are the cities of Palestine. A fifth scheme is that the sea is pure doctrine. The mountain is the evil of organized religion. The fire is ambition. The blood-red waters means the introduction of false doctrine. The fishes are the ecclesiastical monks. The ships, the bearers of the Gospels. And here's a sixth one for you. A sixth system of interpretation is that the mountain is Rome. It's burning, the burning of Rome by Alaric. The wreck of its ships is the sack of Rome. Then, of course, there's William Kelly, who would have us believe him. He says, the second blow supposes a great change. It falls on the sea, and so refers not to that sphere which is under special and settled government, but to that which is or will then be in a state of confusion and anarchy. And again, the mountain burning with fire represents a system of power, itself under the judgment of God and the occasion of judgment to others, in his book, Apocalypse, and that's found on page 141. So, again, is it not better to believe God? Isn't that easier to understand what he says? Now, it's very clear to me that all the above systems cannot be right. All these interpretations that I just read off to you, well, they can't all be right. So which of them, then, are we to accept? Why is there this universal effort to have us believe that God always means something different from what he says? Did you ever wonder, from where does this spirit come from? When God tells us that it was a fiery mass like a mountain cast into the sea, that God's coming judgments will affect the fishes and the ships, which we are distinctly told in Hosea 4, 1-3, and Zephaniah 1:3, and then in Isaiah 2:16, all Bible readers and commentators believe that water was turned to blood in the plagues of Egypt. Why not believe that they will be so turned again? If God had said ink instead of blood, we would believe him. All things are possible with him. In like manner, the cleaving in two of the Mount of Olives in Zechariah 14:4 is regarded by most commentators as being quite beyond the literal interpretation, and yet, I found this, Rotorua, New Zealand, at 2 a.m. on June 10th in 1886, terrified families awoke to a rumbling giant. The noise was heard over 500 kilometers away. The mountain, lit by a tremendous display of lightning, rained ash upon her neighbors and began the deadly renovation of her buried landscape. This is the scene of the great volcanic eruption in New Zealand. The outburst of volcanic energy began by the explosion of Mount Tarawera. I hope I said that right. A mountain which had no crater upon it and showed no signs of recent activity. Tarawera was split in two by the sudden opening of a great chasm or line of craters 4 miles long, about 500 feet wide, and in many places 400 feet deep. Now, what happened in that case may easily happen again. Not that we require or ought to require any aid to our faith, but we believe that God means exactly what he says in this and in other prophecies.